Hey there folks, get ready for a fascinating dive into the world of Canadian foreign policies. The next 7 minutes will take you on a whirlwind tour of how Canada has been working the global stage. So sit back, relax, and let's have some fun exploring Canada's global impact. Canada, the land of maple syrup, hockey, and friendly folks, isn't just about good vibes. It's also got a stellar reputation for its foreign policies. They're all about being diplomatic, promoting peace, and standing up for human rights.
In 1956, when war broke out in the Suez Canal region, Lester B. Pearson, foreign minister at the time, recommended the creation of an emergency force in a last-ditch effort to secure peace in the area.
My own country now maintains forces trained and equipped, which can be placed at the disposal of the United Nations on short notice for service anywhere in the world.
The United Nations agreed. It became the first ever peacekeeping force and a blueprint for the future.
Our story begins back in 20th century when this cool dude named Lester B. Pearson took the reins. He had this brilliant idea called peacekeeping, which earned him a Nobel Prize in 1957. The distinction role in the international action that resolved the Suez crisis and created the United Nations Emergency Force, or known as UNEP, that world body first ever peacekeeping operation. Pearson's approach was all about using diplomacy and mediation to settle conflict without taking sides. As the Cold War heated up, Canada became a master bridge builder. Picture this: they were like the cool kid who could hang out with both the United States and the Soviet Union. By keeping diplomatic ties with both superpowers, Canada helped calm tension and fostered some serious deterrence. Fast forward to today, and Canada is still all about keeping the peace. The armed forces have been busy bees, taking part in United Nations peacekeeping mission worldwide. They're like the superheroes in blue helmets, working to maintain stability and protect innocent civilians in places like Cyprus, Haiti, Rwanda, and Afghanistan. But wait, there's more. Canadian foreign policies have expanded beyond peacekeeping. They're also into economic diplomacy, trade agreements, and fighting climate change.
It is the most modern and advanced trade agreement ever made, actually, and it opens up fantastic possibilities for entrepreneurs and companies and consumers in Europe, but also in Canada, and it strengthens, of course, the very tight friendship and alliance we have with our Canadian friends.
Canada is our 12th trading partner. It's about 60 billion a year of trading goods, about a bit less than 30 billion of trading services. It's a huge investor in Europe. There's more than 120 billion of Canadian euros of Canadian investment in Europe.
Nous sommes présents depuis une quinzaine d'années au Canada maintenant, ce qui représente environ 10% de notre chiffre d'affaires, avec environ 150 000 bouteilles à l'année. L'accord signé et négocié entre l'Union européenne et le Canada peut nous permettre d'améliorer nos échanges avec le Canada, dans le sens où on pourrait avoir plus de compétitivité. On est aussi beaucoup plus présent sur le marché canadien, donc on a une visibilité plus importante, on devient attractif pour le tourisme aussi, donc plus de personnes qui viennent sur Sancerre, on accueille énormément de clients canadiens qui aiment nos vins, donc tout ça reste très positif et très intéressant en termes d'échanges également humains avec le Canada.
Dredging equipment is excluded from the Coastal Trade Act by CETA, so that will help us to use our foreign equipment in Canada.
It's not our intention to take over the market of the local contractors, but it's our intention to join forces with them and to work together to bigger projects which were not feasible before.
Canada is a big country. Quantities to Canada are more important. Canadians are very fond of Italian PDO cheeses in general, Grana Padano and Parmigiano Reggiano in particular. I expect advantages from CETA agreement. We expect benefit to impact positively on turnover, new jobs and positive spillover on the communities where we are operating.
We have around 1,200 employees worldwide. Out of them, 1,000 are in Europe, Around 700 are here in Germany. In Canada, the electrical approvals are different to the EU. This is for us a kind of a challenge since we have to adapt our products for the Canadian need. And this is increasing our prices, which makes us difficult to be competitive compared to local manufacturers. We believe that due to the CETA agreement, we can improve our situation. That means that we can increase our market share in Canada.
The Canadians have very similar view to the ones we have about not only the value of free trade and the free economy, but also how you should regulate that economy and how you should make sure that free trade does not damage public policy interests.
It simplifies access to the Canadian markets. We have access to their public procurement on all levels, and they're actually planning for a lot of investment in public procurement where we could bid. And it also makes it easier for our service companies to have access to the market, and for the staff who work in the service companies to temporarily come and provide that service. And it also includes a very ambitious chapter on sustainable development, where we commit to together work on issues such as good environment, labor standards, etc.
Check out these milestones. The Comprehensive Economic and Trade Agreement, aka CETA, between Canada and European Union. It's like a match made in Putin heaven. This agreement has opened up awesome new opportunities for Canadian businesses and strengthened their position as global trading player.
Thank you, Secretary General. I want to thank you personally for your continued leadership on this important issue. It's safe to say that we would not be here today if it was not for all the hard work that you and President Hollande put into making the Paris Agreement a reality.
When it comes to climate change, Canada is no slouch. They jumped on board the Paris Agreement in 2016, joining hands with the world to tackle global warming. They're all about reducing greenhouse gas emissions, switching to clean energy sources, and teaming up with other countries to take on this monumental challenge.
Now, Ukraine says Canadian help will be key in the battles ahead. Canada is sending both heavy weapons and humanitarian relief. And Chris Brown, along with Breyer, part of our CBC News team covering Russia's war, this morning he takes us aboard a Canadian military aid flight.
Well, this is the cockpit of a Canadian Forces Hercules. Those are the pilots, and here we are in the back. We're somewhere flying over Europe, headed to Poland as part of a regular mission that the Canadian Forces has been doing, bringing humanitarian and military aid to Ukraine. Let's come into...
Now, let's talk about Canada's passion for human rights and spreading democratic values around the world. When things get tough, Canada steps up. They're like the friendly neighbors who's always there to lend a helping hand. Through organizations like the Canadian International Development Agency, they provide humanitarian aid during crises, natural disasters, and even pandemic. They're all about fighting poverty, improving healthcare, and giving education a boost wherever it needs.
Is in the works to develop its first Indo-Pacific strategy. And so it is time for Canada to truly own its role as a Pacific nation. The Indo-Pacific is a region of critical economic and strategic importance that extends far beyond the region itself, and Canada recognized this. In all we do, Canada's approach to the region will be underpinned by our vision of a free, open, and inclusive Indo-Pacific with ASEAN at its core. Upholding these principles globally is all more important in the light of the current crisis in Ukraine. Canada is the only G7 country that has a free trade agreement with all other G7 countries. And we are also a partner through CPTPP. This is one of several Canadian strengths that will ensure these deals are mutually beneficial.
Last but not least, Canada loves hanging out with the international gang. They're active member of the United Nations, NATO, and the Commonwealth. By being part of this global organization, they get to shape important global norms, contribute to peace and security, and make sure their voice is heard loud and clear. And there you have it, folks. Our whirlwind tour through Canadian foreign policies, from peacekeeping to economic diplomacy. From climate change action to championing human rights, Canada's got it going. Thanks for joining us on this one, right? As we continue navigating our ever-changing world, let's give a shout out to Canada for making a positive impact on the international stage. Thank you.